No Time to Talk, Jonas Brothers, songwriters. See the video for the music No Time to Talk by Jonas Brothers. It begins with, and it goes all the way through, the side of a highway, expressway, highway that goes high-speed trafficking, and the Jonas Brothers, three of them, Joe Jonas, Nick Jonas, and who's the other one? Kevin Jonas? I might be wrong about that. It's Joe Jonas and Nick Jonas. I know those two, and there's a third. It says highway number 95. I've heard of, there's a highway called US 95 that goes from Las Vegas, Nevada to California. But I don't drive in Nevada. I don't have a driver's license since the year 2006, and it's the year 2025 right now. So I just don't drive. I didn't have a car title. They didn't offer me a car title when I turned in my license. No, they said that was fine, that I didn't want a license because they gave me a slip of paper to fill out a reason why I didn't want my driver's license anymore. And I didn't just tell them because it expires and I'm just turning it in early. The reason I don't want a driver's license anymore is because I don't have a proper car or a car title or a place to park it or keys that fit it and turn it on. I don't have any of that, and nobody at the DMV wanted to give me a car. Why would they want me to drive at all? Why did I even have a license? Why didn't they say, oh, we're sorry for the mistake. You can have a Nevada state ID since you don't have a car title, and you don't need a license to drive, that you don't have a car or a house. They accepted my answer that it's mentally ill, and so I don't want to answer their question any more specifically than that. It's mentally, this lemonade is from yesterday. I opened it and I used it to prepare a flavoring for a bottle of water that I finished already. And this, I didn't drink out of here. I only drank out of the bottled water. So I'm going to continue to mix out of this same bottle of lemonade, even though I didn't pop open the cap in front of the camera this time. I did it last time I used it. I'm the only one here in the apartment, so I know that nobody else did drink out of here, out of the lemonade, without popping the cap right now in front of the camera. Although somebody stopped by today to tell me that, I already made a video about that, so I don't want to repeat myself. But it's true that I opened the door for somebody who knocked on the door today, and that's not good for that. I didn't drink out of that lemonade myself. Somebody wants it. It looks like I'm not even hearing the threatening that I would just walk off and live out in a park. But you don't let me stay in the parks either, even though the weather is nice enough for me to be out there right now. Although it's hot. Yeah, it's a little too hot, but a little too hot is okay. Too cold, I can't do that. So it's too hot right now. I can live out there, but too cold, I can't do that. But I don't have food. There are so many people who owe me food. With no address for the food supply, then I want to be able to live in the park with that God is the leverage that he will bring me donations and I can live in the park until I die out of the formed world. But why? God doesn't want to do that. I have the leverage that I can get donations out in the parks in North Las Vegas where I used to stay, where I used to live, homeless outside in the parks. And God doesn't want me to go back there because he thinks that's malicious of himself. But the people don't mind. You have malicious people down here that don't mind that I go there away from here. But when I'm there are other malicious people in North Las Vegas around the parks that don't want me to stay in the parks. And that's those people not knowing each other, the people in North Las Vegas and the people in Las Vegas around this apartment, Fremont Gardens Apartments complex. They don't know each other, and they don't make an agreement on where I'm allowed to be. And that's not fair because I'm homeless in the threatening. I'm from state of Wisconsin, and in Nevada, I am homeless. I'm here on a one-way ticket from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, year 2006, and then I was here before that another way. So but since the plane landed in the year 2006, I did get off the plane. I really was on an airplane to be here, and I've been here continuously alive for 19 years. And I am homeless in Las Vegas. I don't know what kind of trouble you're looking for from me. You want money from me? You want what else from me? Because I'm not in Wisconsin. It's homeless here. And I'm not disputing the property. I'm just alive until the end of my leverage. But I don't need to see it. Heaven does create the leverage. Heaven does decease the leverage for me. I don't have to go through it all with my shoes on. You people made me really homeless, and I've been laying down leverage myself because you don't let heaven do that for me. It's an order that heaven would be doing that. How would I know what the leverage is? Heaven is what's creating that and doing that. And I know how to be myself without any sort of help from you, that you might not like what heaven is doing with you individually. If heaven creates you individually, why would you be talking to me about myself? Do you think heaven needs you to help heaven with myself because I'm special? Not if you're not the same problem as you. We're not equals that way. Heaven's creating you, heaven's creating me. You want to talk to me about myself like heaven specially selected you to talk to me about myself. I don't agree with you. I don't think heaven would treat me differently that way. You want to create myself. You want to make yourself very important, that you and God are making creation of myself with myself for myself. You don't want to do that to me. I'm none higher than me deceased. I'm also none higher than he, creating myself deceased right here. And that's not true, that we need that about you. No Time to Talk by the Jonas Brothers. You came to dance, no time to talk. I have to say, most of the music videos I have seen in my life have been very, I guess, like delighted music videos, recordings, delighted. And the Jonas Brothers expressions on their faces, the three of them on the side of the highway, they look a little bit wrong to me. They look a little disturbed that they're on the side of the highway. Well, I can't say I know why, really. I'm not God that way. But I do think that the US 95 is really close to here. Yeah. I can walk to US 95 from here, but I can't walk onto the US 95. So that's the hitchhiking problem. I'm not walking to US 95 and standing at the side of the US 95 and waiting for someone to pull over and offer me a ride to California. I think I don't like to get into strangers' cars because that's homeless. I don't want to. I don't want to be a carjacker because I'm a passenger in somebody else's car. I would have to really be invited kindly because they want to, I don't know, go out to eat or something. But I'm not really in a place where somebody would be in order to do that for me. It's time for myself deceased out of the formed world, and I don't really have friends at this point because nobody's really threatening they're going to pay out a house to myself with food and everything I need about traveling, transportation, clothes as well. So I'm pretty much just waiting for God to give me deceased out of the door locking and out of the formed world now and until the end of time here. So does anyone know anything about the Jonas Brothers recording contract? Are they with Big Machine Records like Taylor Swift? We don't know, but we shouldn't be giving Becky, myself, a very difficult family life because we need to promote that people are going on television because they are homeless in the formed world, so they are on television. I don't afford that. I need that before everyone emergency goes on television as to become a big star in Hollywood or in music or anything on television, a comedy show, something like that. I need those people to pass by my front door and give me a key to a brand new house that's really nice and spacious and clean, and that it has a full food supply for myself and any kind of clothes and anything I need. Before they go on TV, they need to drop all of those resources off by me, and then they can go to jail and put their jails on TV. So that's how the Jonas Brothers could be in a jail on TV, something like Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, but don't go into Shawshank Redemption, which is address of prison deceased on movie, which is on TV, if you can see it on TV. And you're in there, but you haven't been using the jail's office to pay out all the restitution that you owe to the banking, and that it should be put in my name. And then I would need that to be ongoing, that there would be more people after that going into jails and prisons, so that you're not threatening me, that you're jealous that I'm getting food, clothing, and shelter that I need for myself because I'm homeless anyway. You're so angry with myself personally. I am a long time ago homeless, and it's due that you were on your way to jails and prisons, but you don't want to go there. I know, but you keep announcing yourself where you are. That means you need to announce that you're going to jail. If you want to announce to me where you are, you announce it from the inside of a jail, and I'm not picking up the phone. I don't get cell phone service on this personal communication device. I can receive text messages but not calls. That means you can use a payphone to call me, and I'm not picking up your call. You're in jail, and if that's due, you should get yourself with a gun to the prison, and then you can fire the address, and you can stay there, and you can landlord anybody you want in the prison, and they can threaten you with your own gun. You keep landlording that you don't have prejudice, and nobody's going to stop you, and you're illegal, and you're doing something illegal, and you don't have prejudice, and you don't have anyone to stop you. And that's because you are that type of illegal. You look illegal. You have two eyes, a nose, and a mouth, but you really don't have a head because your hair is not black. It's brown or it's blonde, and you're illegal that way. If you don't speak, God will take care of all of that for you in heaven, but you are due outside homeless on everything you hear. You're not to be a speaker because you don't afford to hear what you hear. You can't just make that excuse to everybody who's not yourself. You don't afford to hear what you hear, so you make speech offenses. It's not so you make speech offenses. It's so you go to jail. If you don't afford what you hear, so you go to jail. You go goodbye.